Hey guys, today a new What If called What If Naruto Was an Otsusuki Part 1. So let's get into this. So, just for some background exposition. Naruto is the son of Otsusuki royalty, and his servant is also Otsusuki royalty. His servant is a noble while he is a true royal. And that's all you guys need to know for now. And also Naruto is a prodigy, it's a very high ranking prodigy. He is the best prodigy since the start of the Otsusukis. So let's get into this. We would see Naruto being given birth to, and also another baby being birthed to. That would be Naruto's servant. And when Naruto was born, he was born with high amounts of chakra. You might be thinking, oh, it's the Otsusuki clan. They're all born with high amounts of chakra. Well, he was born with a full-grown, strong, noble Otsusuki's chakra at birth. And he had a lot of potential. And so was his servant. But his servant was weaker. So, this news spread like wildfire between the royal families of the Otsusukis. But they all had one king they had to follow, that being Otsusuki. So, Naruto's parents would have known that if the Otsusuki king would find out about this, he would kill or exile him. Because the last child to have this power level, he was killed by the Otsusuki king. But the Otsusuki king also thought maybe he could have exiled him to die by himself, since he didn't want the blood of another Otsusuki on his hand. And so they wanted to protect Naruto. And so was this other royal Otsusuki. So they would send both of these babies together to a planet called Earth. And they would leave the planet and go there. But the Otsusuki king would find out about their children, and because they didn't tell him, he would decide to destroy both of their planets. It's a chakra fruit, and the planets will both be destroyed. As Otsusuki would think he killed them, he killed the two children, and so he would go back to his throne and do whatever he does. And we won't see him until Naruto and him grow stronger. And so they will crash land on a planet called Earth. Right now, the Nine-Tails attack will happen, and these babies will drop right there in an instant, right where Kusuno is, and she will start screaming, and they would think, oh, triplets. As Naruto and his servant, who's his kind of brother, would be there, and they'll say, wow, must be some birth defect. As Kushina will look at the child in the center, which would have been Mito. As she would name Naruto, and the person you see right here, you guys will get to name him. And so, they would go through their life. He would have Naruto and him would, at the age of 4, be very tall for the age, and very strong for some reason. But because of how they looked, the villagers would start to attack them, called it the Foxen, thinking that they were the fox, the demon was the Ninetales reincarnated. And so, they would start to try to kill them. Right now, they don't have their abilities. Their parents sealed it away so they, don't destroy the planet. Or in the Otsusuki King will be able to sense them by that way. And so, Naruto and him would go off. Naruto and him would get beat as he will be running and run faster than Naruto. As Naruto would get hurt badly. As this will cause him to get knocked out. As he'll go into his mindscape. There he would see a three-headed beast with many tails. The Infinity Tails. As the Infinity Tails would ask Naruto, "Tell me, who are you?" As he would say, "I see. So you are that child." As he would say, "I see. I guess I'll help you then." As he would kick Naruto out of his mindscape, and then Naruto's wounds would instantly heal, as the Infinity Tails will give him an ability called Adaptation. It's basically how the Infinity Tails survived in the Tail Beast world. And well, adaptation. Basically meaning he would regenerate, and after he regenerated, he would adapt to anything that'll hurt him. And he also gave this to one person of his choosing. You already know who he gave it to. He gave it to him. And, well, this would have saved them from dying many, many times, since the villagers' beings would get even more savage because they see they couldn't die, so they will become angry and frustrated, more frustrated, to the point where full-on grown shinobis were using A-rank jutsus to try to kill them. They'll be hated more than how Naruto was hated in canon. And this would have made Naruto sad. Very sad. And his parents would have been neglecting him. And so his eyes would start to change. And he would gain the three Tomoe Sharingan. Why? He's a prodigy, Otsusuki Royal, and he has high amounts of chakra that was unfounded for any Otsusuki to have. That is the reason why he skipped the other two forms. As with this, he would decide to hide it, as he would instinctively know how to hide it and turn it off. It's basically in his genes to know how to turn it off. And so, Naruto and his brother would go off to train in, surprisingly, the Forest of Death. And with this, they would basically live there. Because they weren't welcome back for Hokage's house. They will build themselves a little house with a cave system and clean water, as they've been fighting there for a long time. Time skip. They were 4, but now 8 years have passed. He has now awakened his two Tomoe Sharingan. And because Naruto got injured a lot while the tailed beast was sleeping, and well, he was in a coma for a few days, and that would have made him awaken his two Tomoe Sharingan. And so, we would see Naruto and his brother wake up Naruto wake up first and say to his brother, "Wake up! It's time for the academy." As they would wake up, get ready, and go and start to ninja run to the academy. As they would get there, and Iruka would say, "Alright, class. Alright, hello everybody. I'm Iruka. I'll be your ninja teacher from now on until you graduate." As we would time skip. Also, I forgot, they've been in the academy since they were 8 and 10. And so it is the end today. Time skip. A few months. Today is the last day of Shinobi school. As Iruka would say, "Alright, everybody, it's time for the last day of Shinobi school." And Naruto and his brother have actually been hiding their power and act like the dumbest kid in class. Why? But they would ace every test and make Iruka forget, but it's still in the grades. And so they would go to, the final exam. And the final exam will be a paper that would test how much chakra they have and the clone jutsu test. And chakra control and kunai throwing. That's it. So, we'll start first with the kunai throwing. Naruto and his brother would just let loose, as Naruto would go first and get a 10, as his brother, who's a servant, would get 10 as well. Sorry, my thing fell. I know that's kind of loud noise, but anyway, I'm gonna just fix it real quick. Okay, so Naruto and his servant, brother, would get 10 marks, 10 things, 10 kunai. They would get 10 kunais and get 10 on everything. They would pass everything. The chakra, they will just release a little bit of it so that they are low tuning, which would be surprising. As they would say, "I guess that's the rookies of the year, I guess." Would say, "How? But Sasuke's the rookie of the year." Sakura would say. Iruka would say, "No. In the grades, they are the smartest, the strongest, and the most tactical, even surpassing Shikamaru." Shikamaru would be surprised. As Naruto and his brother would go and do the clone jutsu, but they wouldn't do normal clones. No. They would do the multi-saddle clone jutsu. As Ruka would hear it, he would say, "They're just lying, they're just fluking," as the saddle clones actually come out. And these saddle clones are different from the regular. They can survive and take a lot of hits. As Ruka would try to hit it, as it would not burst, as he would keep on hitting it. It would take him a minute of just hitting it 100 times before it just burst. And Naruto would say, "Oh, I just wanted it to burst." As Ruka would be surprised and say, "Good work." As he would say, "I presume your brother can too?" He would say, "Yeah." As he would say, "Okay, well, I guess it's time for Mito." And Mito. I've not been talking about her. How's her life? Well, she's had, basically, they spoiled her to the point where she's just a brat. But also, it wouldn't be a neglected what if the character's not caring, if she wasn't annoying more. Her best friend, / rival, is Sakura, and Naruto has developed a Byakugan for plot, and because of Hinata actually liking healing stuff and also using Byakugan, she got top marks as well. As the Hokage, who would not be really looking, would say, it's my son's like, and Hinata, I don't like either of them. It's like Hinata, I guess he needs to bounce out Naruto's brother, that demon, and also Naruto, as he would put her on the team. As he would fall asleep because of the paperwork. As we would see, Kakashi come in and see what he's doing and say, "Oh, I guess Team C." As he would just write C and leave. As Minato wake up, he would say, "Oh, what?" As he would say, "Okay, Hokage-sama, thank you." As the person will take it and leave. As Minato said, "What did I didn't do anything? What were they talking about? I don't know. Just go keep on doing my paperwork." Look how Tobirama Hashirama did this. I still had time for family. As you keep on doing it. As Team C, we led by no other than Hiyashi Hyuga, who will step down from clan, who've been led by a very high-ranking shinobi. No, we taught by Jiraiya and Tsunade, because they're both Naruto's godparents and godmothers for both Naruto and his brother, and so they wanted to be there for him. So yeah, and so that's the team, and they will get a lot of training. And why am I doing this? So that Naruto and them can all get OP. And also, Naruto's Byakugan is different from any normal Hyuga or Otsusuki's. His Byakugan allows him to see way farther, like an entire 10-mile radius. He's able to see for his Byakugan anything in a 10-mile radius. No, 1 mile. I don't know if he did that way. He can see like a part of the leaf village, so he won't get sneaked up on. Okay. Before coming there, he would have walked around the village until you see a shop. This will be a new seller who say, "I'm only here for a day, and I have exotic things from a faraway place." If Naruto would go there, as he would see a bunch of fruit, he would see a bunch of weapons, see a bunch of like jewelry, pots, faces, and he will also see a sword. Naruto will see the sword as he will see chakra resonate off of it. Naruto say, "How much for the sword, oh man?" You say, "The sword? For you, kid? How much is what's the Naruto currency? I think it's yen. 1,000 yen." You say, "Okay." As Naruto would buy this sword. That sword would be the sword you see in the picture right here. So, Naruto and his new friend would go off to Naruto and his new sword, go to where they're supposed to be, the academy. Naruto would just pick up the sword and think, "I can sit down to it later." As he sees his senseis, he'll be like, "Okay." So Naruto will have the sword there, and Naruto will say, "Sword, As you say, "Kid, come here." He'll say, "Did you know you can put elemental chakra onto swords?" So Naruto will say, "What?" So we say, it's been in some journals I found, but no one knows how to use it, so swords are pretty useless. Why'd you got it?" Say, "Because it looked interesting." He'll say, "Yeah, I guess you can strengthen it using chakra. If you're lucky enough to have that aptitude. But it's pretty much a waste of money. How much did the guy give you for it? 1,000 yen, you say? Stuff like that. It's like 10 yen, no, 100 yen. Even then, that's high borrowing. We don't really use swords, so it's a waste of money, kid. As Naruto say, okay, I'll keep it though. As you'll say, okay, it's your waste of money. So I would say, as he would start to walk away. As Naruto would look at the sword and say, chakra using Chuck. I wonder how this was performed. Maybe I can find some in the Hokage's library. As Naruto would have sneaked in using his saddle to act like he's sleeping there, as the Anbu who are keeping close watch on the eyes of Naruto at all times when he's not near adults will be watching his clone sleeping. And so Naruto would break into the Hokage's office library. As he would start to read through it using side clones, he would find a book called Elemental Swordsmanship. As it would talk about, he would say you need immense chakra control to do this. Immense and precise amount of chakra control to be able to even perform a little bit of elemental swordsmanship. But the basics for it, you need to use seals. As Naruto would grab off his cyclones, as the cyclones would go off and start to make the seals. As Naruto, because he's a prodigy, even if he is a very high-class prodigy, this would take him 30 seconds. Long time, I know. Very long time. I think he'll take him 30 seconds. But don't worry, now that he's learned seals a little bit, he'll be able to do stuff like that in 10 seconds flat. Don't worry, he has to be that OP. So, Naruto would make this cyclones burst as he would gain out the knowledge and go on his sword. As he would read up about seals as well, as he'll read a book from Tobirama Senju, as he would talk about seal upgrades, as he will also talk about the highest level you can ever get. There'll be blood seals, where you add your blood to the seal, so the seal is stronger and that can only be activated by you. But this technique has been lost. This technique is very dangerous, and if you do not have enough chakra control and chakra, it will kill you. As Naruto said, I have a lot of chakra and chakra control, I guess I can do this. As Naruto would start to do it, using his blood, by cutting himself with the sword. As he would do that, as he would say, fire style, as the sword will erupt in flames, blue flames, lightning style, black lightning, basically advance of everything. Like the fires are Motoyasu, it's Kakashi's purple or black lightning, all that stuff. Naruto also has every manga release, all that stuff. He has all the releases as well. So yeah, Naruto say, as he do all the releases he knows he has, he's like, wow, this is really strong. I wonder why nobody uses this anymore. As Naruto will go back to his house and spurt the cyclone without making smoke and teleport right there. So he'll go there instantaneously. Naruto goes sleep with his sword in his hand, just like the cyclone. As the Anbu leaves since it's midnight, and he ain't gonna try anything since he's been slept on sleep for that long. As soon as they left, Naruto will get up and say, wow, this was really As Naruto will fall to his floor and start to cough out blood. As Naruto would start to remember something, the drawback of using blood on a seal. I'm getting branded. The sword is gaining a part of me. As Naruto would go to his bed and drop on there, coughing up blood, as he would get knocked out. But anyway, this is the end of What If Naruto Was an Otsusuki. Please tell me a name for this guy. I can just not keep on calling him Naruto's brother. If you don't give me a name, I won't figure out a name for him. Anyway, bye.